Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Well, there he goes again. I don't know how I can explain this any simpler than this House Bill 2328 does not represent the proposed budget that we'll all be voting on. It's simply a vehicle to make sure we're going to pass a budget on time once again. This process, which is a very difficult process, was made more difficult as a result of the revenue collections during our current fiscal year. It's very easy to put blame on certain individuals, certain legislators, but I'll tell you, I do have background in the federal taxation system. And what they do in Washington, D.C. does affect state governments, especially those state governments that have a flat tax, such as Pennsylvania, 3.07%. Whether it's wages, whether it's interest, whether it's capital gains, you pay 3.07%. But for those that pay federal income tax, there's graduated income taxes. There's long-term capital gains tax rates. And all those rates increased January 1st, 2013. So those American taxpayers and businesses that invest in the stock market heavily were advised to sell their gains in the fourth quarter of 2012. Now, Pennsylvania has a provision in their taxes called a safe harbor provision, where if you pay 100% of what you owed in 2012, no matter what you would owe in 2013, you would not owe a penalty. Many of our taxpayers did that. As April came in, we saw that the refunds were exceptional and the amount of money owed to our state was substantially less than the year before. April's revenues came in $300 million less than what was projected. We had to regroup. The governor's budget that he proposed in February was no longer in balance. We looked at May. May's revenues were $110 million less than projected. And as we got closer to June, not only were our projections lower, actual collections from one year to the next were less. You don't rush to the budget table to get a budget done. You try to establish a responsible and sustainable budget. Now, other states, why have other states did not feel the slow recovery from the recession? Well, other states 3 years ago, 4 years ago, immediately raised taxes. This General Assembly and this administration made responsible decreases in spending as a result of losing $3 billion in federal stimulus money. Now, I would be the first one to say that not every school district suffered as much as some of our poorer school districts when we made those cuts. If you have a school district, whether you're on this side of the aisle or this side of the aisle, if you have a lot of charter schools, you suffered. You suffered. But slowly but surely, over the last 3 years, we now have reached an historical amount of state spending in education, over $10 billion. Now, I hear some of the folks that voted no on that do not think pension contributions have anything to do with education. Well, I can tell you, I have prepared many a profit and loss statement, and every business always counts in their labor cost and includes their employee benefits. Nothing is more important to this educational system than the person in that classroom and their benefits. You must include pension contribution as a cost of education. Just like it's a cost of running the legislature, just like it's cost of running PennDOT, just like it's cost of running the state police. It's part of that department. You're going to have an opportunity to debate the budget that we're going to be proposing in the next couple days. But ladies and gentlemen, we have to move on. We have to put the vehicles in place in order to pass a budget. Is it a late budget, the proposal? Yes, it is. But never in my years of service here have I seen the revenue unexpectedly decline the way it did. We lost over $300 million in FMAP, medical assistance payments from the federal government. Pennsylvania lost more money, dollar-wise, than any other state in the nation as a result of Pennsylvania's per capita income increase. We have written letters to Washington, D.C., asking, how was that calculation? We have not heard a response. I don't have to explain to you the tobacco settlement problems. Right? That made front page news all over Pennsylvania. We are going to be addressing that tobacco settlement in this omnibus amendment that we will be debating, okay, in the Appropriations Committee as well on this floor of this House. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the vehicle. The gentleman is correct. It is not the budget. But we will be amending this vehicle to move Pennsylvania forward and put our Commonwealth of Pennsylvania on the right track once again. Thank you very much.